And hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whichever time of day that you are coming in to join in on this particular conversation, whether you visited us live or if you are catching it in the rebroadcast somewhere, either on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or wherever this is being posted or shared. Oh God, I'm a little bit moist. Thank you for coming in and thank you for your time. For those of you who do not know who I am Demetrius Big Meach Taylor, honey, and you are dishing tea, darlings. With Big Meach right here and right now. Welcome to another edition and installment of the Donut Factory commentaries, huh? Because you know where I am, honey. I'm making the donuts, baby. So having said all that, I am here and I want to get down into it and get into something that's going to be very... There we go. The damn thing paused for a second. But I'm going to put down here in the comment section, honey, my website. Please take time to go and visit dishingtea.com for everything Dishing Tea. And everything about me, also about my books and my oils, sensuality, and all of that. I encourage you to take it out and take a look, okay? So having said all that, let's get right down and into this thing here because as you see, I've titled this particular commentary, Are We Ready for Straight Pride Month? Or better yet, are we ready for Black Straight Pride Month? And the reason why this particular topic is on me right now is because I'm hoping to bring the Honorable Judge Joe Brown onto my radio show soon. Hopefully he's going to accept the invitation. And we get to talk about this particular topic because I'm going to read to you something that he had posted up on Twitter that I responded to. Now, I have my responses and carrying on directly. I wanted to see if I can get into this because there were some comments and stuff made that I want to read as well to help further and support his point. But let me get this. I'm going to read this, and you guys tell me what this is that it said to you when you first hear this. He said, remember, do not become demoralized. Straight is strong. Be strong for families, children, femininity, women, masculinity, and manhood. Okay, now that's the tweet. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, oh, good, here we go. I was able to come and find the other tweets, okay? And so someone said, really hoping that he means straight as in straight and narrow path and not as in anti-gay. His response was, straight as in heterosexual. We straights have First Amendment rights too. Before you troll, what I said is gays have the right to have sex the way they want. When umbrella organizations influence policy, they're as open for opposition as either political party or any office holder. Okay. So then, when you go down further, someone says, a prime example of the oppressed becoming the oppressor. Do better, Joe. His response was, this is not what I'm doing here. If you fight your enemy, you must know him. Study Adolf Hitler's diatribes against Slavs, and you will see an example of what you emphatically excluded. Some of us have been doing this long enough to be committed to what should be a fight. Okay? So, what happened was, I ended up responding, and I said to him, Your Honor, I've said this to the LGBT plus community, and I will say this to you too. I understand your message, and I support it, but the language you use appears to suggest that you are anti-everything else. To claim do not be demoralized does not say pro-masculinity and families. Now, he responded. He said, scroll through my tweets and replies, and you will see I'm not anti-gay, but oppose public, social, political policy I consider ill-advised or harmful, whether it comes from the Democratic Party, the GOP, the LGBTQ, the church or state, etc. First Amendment protocols and the sort of thing applies. So then I had invited him to come on my show. I said, I invite you to come on my radio show, Dishing Tea with Big Meach, and let's discuss your plight to fight for the rights for securing manhood and masculinity. As a black gay male, I welcome this conversation and hope you accept my invitation. Okay, but then I also had responded to this direct tweet here, and I said, I do realize that you are not anti-gay. However, as you know, language is everything, and how your message can be interpreted is why my community, the black LGBT plus community in particular, seems to be at arms. Perhaps we can discuss this further on my show. Please come on and let's talk. Okay, so here's the question, and here's the thing, because God bless it. Hold on, y'all. No, okay, they hung up. Here's the thing. Are we ready for the straight folks to parade around in the streets like we do once a month or whatever? I mean, once a year in Canada, actually twice a year, because we have National Gay Pride Month, which is June for most of the country. Here in Atlanta, it's October. And then we have Black Gay Pride, and that varies across the country and different times of the year and carrying on. And so we have this divide within the LGBTQ plus community, because you see we have two separate prides, okay? And then don't get me started with the black community and the black prides, because hell, there's a number of different cities that got separate black prides, because the unity in the community and all that those cliches does not seem to work together. Nobody seems to want to come together for the common good. Everybody seems as though the nonprofit organization cannot seem to get off the ground, because the party promoters and everybody trying to make their coin, which there ain't no shade, no tea. But at the same time, nobody wants to come together to make sure that everybody gets a part of the pot. Everybody's sitting up there trying to make their own thing. And so there are several. I know Chicago is one of them. Here in Atlanta, we are one of them. Good night. Here in Atlanta, we are one that we got two separate black gay prides going on, and they won't admit it. And, there's a complete divide. We have In the Life Atlanta, which is the nonprofit organization, which is the organization who actually hosts Black Gay Pride. And then you have all the other ones who come together, who are the for-profit or entities and the party promoters and carrying on, who, when everybody say Black Gay Pride, that's what they think of. And so everybody flock to those events and carrying on. So we have a complete divide. So I said all that to say, here we have in gay prides and carrying on, there's a divide. So are we ready for straight pride? Now, I remember when all these prides became, when I became active and there was a thing to, we got the prides going on and blah, blah, blah. And I remember straight folks being up in arms, well, we don't have no straight prides or whatever. What the hell y'all got to be in the streets for, and blah, 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 blah. And so the adage became, no, we don't need no fucking straight pride, because the whole world is about our heteroattractional community. Everything is there, because so presumably you guys are quote unquote the norm. So everything about life, everything about culture, everything about how we're supposed to live is coming from a straight perspective, a heteronormative perspective. And so as gay citizens or whatever, we're not included in that. We don't get a chance to come and be with our lovers and carrying on at the picnics or whatever. And we come down to the sports game or whatever, we kiss each other or hold hands, then that's cause for a riot. That's one to sit down there and y'all want to be up and on. Don't come around us with that gay shit and this, that, and the other. It becomes a farce. So, and a contention. Maybe farce is not the right word. I'm going to say it becomes contention. So with that, that's what it was, at that particular time. But now we have evolved. And now that gay pride has become something, and the LGBT community has seemed to become this force to be reckoned with now. We have a lot of political savvy. There's a lot of onset with folks because they're pissed that the LGBT community has the momentum and the political power that it has. For those of you who felt that President Obama didn't do well with blacks and carrying on, you guys feel as though that the LGBTQ community has usurped the black community and carrying on. A lot of y'all feel as though that the LGBT community has taken over the civil rights movement, or have attached themselves to the civil rights movement and thing, and have taken over the moniker and all of that. You guys feel as though that the gay community has done that and have put black folks further back along the way. Okay. That's debatable. I'm not going to say yay or nay to that, because as a black gay man, honey, I'm telling you, shit, the fight is real, because I got to fight with black folks. I got to fight with gay folks, because shit, black folks feel as though because I'm gay, I'm not supposed to be at the table, or my needs and my wants and all of my issues and stuff need not be addressed. And in the gay community, we just said we got all this complete divide. There's still a racial divide within the gay community. So we have that to deal with and all of that. So because we're there, now, we have all this thing. We got the conscious community and carrying on. And I believe Joe Brown, the judge, is a part of this whole conscious community thing. I've seen him on a number of different YouTube talk shows and carrying on. And his views are rather, I won't say extreme, but the way how he talks, he is this rather attractional, forward. He's a black man who is fighting for black men and black families and carrying on. Do I follow for that? No. Do I question some of his rhetoric? I do, because I'm like, okay, you said it like that to say what? Like this whole thing here, do not be demoralized. What the fuck is that? Because if you're pro-straight man and pro-black families and pro, women, cis, and I can't stand that word, but I'm going to say it, cisgender women being feminine and soft and demure, and carrying on, because a lot of women are showing a lot of masculine traits and stuff these days. If you are there and you're here to fight to say we need to get back to the family and a man's man, men need to be strong again and, come out of all this softness and blah, 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 blah. What part of demoralized said that is pro-masculinity and pro-families? See, that particular word there says that anything else other than straight is wrong or has, it's immoral. And so that's why I have my contention with, because I'm like, no, language. Okay, language is very powerful, because see, now you got everybody else up in arms. You're not saying let's reclaim our place. Men, they tell you that in church all the time. Men need to step up to the plate. You need to reclaim your place as the head of the household. Okay, and this, that, and the other. Now, that could be a debatable point or whatever, but for the sake of arguing, let's take that at face value. So if that's what this is, and if that's what we're doing, and that's what we're saying this is supposed to be, everything else that's coming out of the mouths where you talking about don't be demoralized and, they can sleep with whoever they want to sleep with, but we got our rights too. See, that there becomes very defensive, and it becomes more of an attack versus it becoming something that says, well, no, you know what? We need to have our voice at the table too, because see, you forget, black men, we are an endangered species. We are a threat to the world and carried on. Everything about this particular life has been to put the black man in a particular regimen. Whether you want to agree with it or not, if you look at the way the world is today, the masculine black man, whether he's gay or straight, but the masculine black man seems to always have problems, okay, with getting ahead, with getting accomplished, and this, that, and the other. Now, one of the arguments that the conscious community children and the power to the people children are saying is that the powers that be, or the mainstream society, aka Caucasian people or Anglo-Saxons, or, you know, just business folks and white folks in particular, do not feel threatened by a feminine acting man, whether he's gay or straight. A softer man, honey, is not necessarily considered a threat in the eyes of the power to the people children, because they consider, or their argument is, that instead of hiring heteroattractional black men, or at least masculine men, that they hire gay men or whatever, because it's a tool, you know, and carrying on. So that there is their argument. Can this be supported? Well, that's debatable. You know, it seems as though it can. It has a premise. It has some particular kind of merit. But let's look at this from the standpoint of what Joe Brown is saying, because he's like, okay, well, we got First Amendment rights, and we got rights too as straight folks, you know. So now it becomes, what are we saying here? Are we looking at a fight for heterosexuality or heteroattractionality, or what? Stand by, y'all. Hold on. This is security. Hey. Who? Yeah. Wait a minute. Where is he coming from? Where you at? Ponce. By Livingston. The Ponce door's in the back. Okay. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got folks creeping in, honey. Wait a minute. Hold on. 15 base to 05. Could you come and get the Allen wrench and come and lock those doors? The Ponce doors are still, they're not secured. We got 54s trying to come in. All right, all right.
James is wrapping things up still.
That's fine.
It's here.
All righty then. Oh. Here we go with this damn eye again. I don't know why I'm always rubbing my damn eye. Shit. Anyway. Okay. Okay, children. I'm back. Because I'm on the job, I was in front of a couple of white children, honey, and I believe this one is a Trump supporter. And I didn't want to get him started with this conversation. However, like I said, are we at a point where we are looking for our straight counterparts to sit down here and you know, are we ready for this particular fight? Are we ready to say they have a place at the table? And then exactly what is their voice? And if they bring their voice to the table, do we feel threatened by it? Do we feel as though it's becoming an edge that they may have on us for you know, to what? To usher in more homophobic ideas. And y'all know I said before that I'm beginning to believe that the word homophobia is not the right word anymore, because I don't believe that a lot of straight folks are scared of us. I just think that they're not tolerant of us. You know, they don't want to tolerate us. They don't want to be accepting. So they're non-accepting, you know, and non-tolerant of same gender loving people and caring. Or for whatever reason, it could be religious, it could be personal, you know, combination of all of the above or whatever. But are we ready to allow that particular struggle to have some kind of voice and some kind of merit? What are we looking to do with this particular fight? Okay, are we ready for straight men or straight black men in particular to stand up and say, you know what, this is what we represent and this is what we stand for. But see, here's my question about that. Because I've always wondered, we hear about, what's a strong man and this, that, and the other. In the era of the woman, we hear, I'm a strong black woman. And the question becomes, what is the definition of strong? Okay, because oftentimes the qualities and the characteristics that a lot of these particular people are adding on to or want to say are supposed to represent strong and strength or whatever are all this bullshit that has been inoculated into. We have inoculated that from a slavery ritual, and I know that it gets tiring. Always having to associate everything about black folks in this country. We always had to take it back to slavery. But at the same time, hell, we have to, because a lot of the antics and shit, this is still residual bullshit that's coming from that particular institution. A strong black man is what? Okay, y'all too quiet. I don't see nobody sitting up here saying anything here. So that's fine, because maybe you're thinking. But I'm trying to get down to what you say a strong black man is. Because, see, ideally, I always go to my time period and say, I'm 40, I'll be 49 in March. So I'm a 70s baby. And when I think of strong black men, okay, I think of that particular time in the 70s, before the drugs hit our community real heavy. We had men who they worked, they took care of their houses, they took care of their wives, they took care of their children. They were able to, they wasn't wishy-washy with bullshit and carrying on. He was a man of his word. If his word was his bond. A man was one who lived up to what his name was supposed to represent. My father's last name is Adams. So if you sit up there, you had to represent, you not only was representing yourself, but you was representing your family. You were representing all of the traits that you were born with, all of the characteristics, all of the family values and character that you were born with. When you stood up to claim yourself as a man, as a functional citizen in this world, you were holding all of that on your shoulders, and then having to forge your way in to understand what your principles were and carrying on. You did not do anything that was going to embarrass your family, and whatever your dirt was or whatever, it was your dirt. You didn't sit down here. See, now that we got all this damn reality show and shit, all the YouTube and social media and lives like I'm on and carrying on, we got a lot of folks that they have no sense of decorum and self-value. Well, I won't say self-value. I would say self-governing, because see, we always say, well, no, you have no self-value. We don't know what their values are. So see, that's a judgment that we make. But what we can say is that a lot of folks are not governing themselves, to put themselves in their best light. Anytime you want to sit down here and become a spectacle, and especially when you ain't getting paid for it, okay, then that means that you have put yourself into a light where other folks can see you, other folks can ridicule you, other folks can be able to define your narrative based upon your characteristics and your actions. See, we've never been one I've never been under the guise of rewarding negative behavior. However, at this particular stage of the game, we at a point now to where now we have allowed that to become part of social media and part of popular culture. Negative behavior is what speaks. They say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. However, everything is making so much fucking noise now to where shit, you don't know what's squeaking or not, because everything is making noise. The whole car is fucked up. Okay. You got the check engine light on permanently, and it's been on for so long to where, hell, the car, this is now normal for the car. Hold on.
1027, up level walk down from 10 to 3, 10 to 2. All clear this time. You have 3 breakfasts, pre-orders from room 1003, 620, and 501. That's 1003, 620,
Copy that. So that's where we are right now, children. What is it that constitute or describes or is the narrative of a strong black man? Okay, as I said, coming up, that's what men did. I looked at, it was reflective in our movies, those who wasn't shit, honey, they got dealt with because you wasn't, you, not only were you no good to the community, you was no good to yourself. We did not have a lot of selfish bullshit and carried on. We did not have a lot of braggadociousness or whatever. A man was a man, And, hell, a man was also resourceful. Okay? I gotta walk around because this damn stool is fucking with my leg. A man was very resourceful. Okay? And if he didn't know how to take care of something, he knew how to put himself in a position where he could get the answers. He can get what he needed to get to make it happen. Okay? And so because of that, that's what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And we don't seem to have that anymore. In that, now we have to define what's constituting a strong black man. Because look at what we got now. Okay, we've got pimps, ballers, and shot callers. Okay, but most of these little lazy ass little fuckers don't even know what hard work is. Nobody knows how to take an ass whooping anymore. Everybody quick to go run and get a gun or whatever because you trying not to be hard. I mean, trying not to be soft. You trying to be so motherfucking hard, but yet you a fucking punk because you don't know how to sit up there and stand up for what it is. You don't know how to talk. Men do not know how to talk, and well. Wait a minute, I'm finna say something, and I want to. And before it come out, let me preface this. We are emotional creatures. We just not been taught how to deal with our emotions in a way that will make sense. Okay, we've all been taught that a man don't cry and this, that, and other. You man up and just take that shit. But men are very emotional creatures. We have got to learn a different way of how to deal with our emotions, and because we deal with them, that does not mean that we're soft, or that does not mean that we're supposed to take a complete feminine approach to dealing with that, because that's not the answer either. What we have to do is find a way that says, this is how this is how men react. Where's the empowerment circle that we usually have or whatever, But no, we so busy trying to show our bravado and machismo to where every time tension is there, if we not fighting, we fucking. If we not fucking, we eating. If we not eating, we sleeping. If we not sleeping, we at work. Okay? Or trying to get some kind of hustle on. Those are the 5 basic principles of a man. Okay? That because we don't know we have not been taught how to really deal and relate with stuff. If we don't want to deal with it, if a woman is nagging and carrying on or whatever, what do? We tune out. Okay? And then we want to act as though she's supposed to know us through osmosis or whatever. And then, when men don't talk about this kind of stuff. And see, we've gotten so rigid in defining gender roles and carrying on to where we have not taken time to really let a man be expressive, to let a man sit up here and know what it is that he's going through, and to let a man deal with it. Now, one of the things I do know is that, see, back in the day, when a man used to deal with something or whatever, honey, he had to cry, he had to do this, he pulled himself away from the family. He took a sabbatical. He went, and did what he was going to do. Hell, y'all heard this. If you've not, you've seen it on National Geographic or whatever, or any of the nature shows, or any of the movies that talk about African history when it comes down to the kings of and the tribal leaders and stuff of the hut. They sit down there, they go into the woods, how the men get together and they go do what they need to do so that when they came back, they were prepared. They were ready. The rites of passage for young boys. They take the boys out into the woods and show them how to do X, Y, and Z. So they can learn how to hunt for food, how to make their own clothes, how to sit there, build their own houses and to be self-sufficient. That there is what men do. But we don't have that these days. Okay, so going back to Joe Brown, I understand what his plight is. He's a straight man that's saying, look, as a straight black man, I need to sit down there and make sure that my voice is at the table. I need to make sure that folks understand where we're coming from. I need to make sure that we are not being a lost cause because, y'all know, I've told y'all this before in another video, that the sciences and stuff has proven they putting chemicals and stuff in everything now to where it reacts differently to men. Hey baby, it reacts differently because what it's doing is that it's allowing a man's estrogen levels to increase. They have scientifically proven that. And I know when I first heard it, I thought it was bullshit and carried on, but they have scientifically proven that. And then if you look at it now, look at how boys are built nowadays. Boys are being built now. They're coming out very hippie. They're coming out very top heavy. The breasts are developing and carrying on now. Now, as a gay man, I particularly like that on the man, but that's a sexual thing, and it has nothing to do with this particular argument. I'm just making a point because what it is. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that that's wrong because it has a place, and I'm coming to you very real because that's a lot of areas where people are going to look at it from. Oh, well, hell, he built like a bitch and this, that, and the other. How he going to do this, that, and the other? And outside of the sexual gratification that arouses to gay men, straight men who have to deal with that, that's not their plight. That there is like, okay, now what do I do with it? I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so it is who I am. So now how do I move forward from this? As a straight man, I've got to sit down here and use the body that I have. But then when you have women who want to out-masculine the man, who then want to call him all kind of bitch niggas and carrying on and this, that, and the other, where does a man stand in this? So I understand the fight and I understand where it is. And then, of course, historically, as far as men and black men and stuff in this country, straight black men in this country on top of it, we understand that, it's never been in our favor, honey. Affirmative action came it did nothing for the black man. Affirmative action came, the person who benefited the most out of this was white women. Because women were not, they wasn't allowed to get into this, that, and the other. And hell, that helped them to get into the job market, helped them to become the business women that they are. And then because we had that minority issue, then it became, black men got excluded out because now to have the woman and you got a black woman, you killed two birds with one stone. So this is how the black woman was able to matriculate. And then there were no avenues to let the black man come in. And then, of course, his pride got in the way and this, that, and the other. So there's the systematic dynamics are one thing, but the personal dynamics are another. Okay? Because, see, the systematic shit where a woman was progressing and carrying on is one thing, because, hell, she took advantage of opportunities and things. So it's like, okay, well, baby, look, let me sit down here. If I do this, then you do that or whatever. But then on the personal side, his attitude and his ego got in the fucking way because we have been told, well, I'm supposed to be the breadwinner and blah, 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 blah. And if a man couldn't handle that or didn't feel as though he was the king of his castle or this, that, and the other, then hell, what did he do? He either beat up on his woman and carried on, got drunk, or left. Or sometimes all of the above. So, and instead of dealing with his emotions and carrying on, it just became that. And so now we're at this particular stage now to where, hell, particularly black men in this particular culture, hell, nothing is there. Look at the court systems and stuff. The court systems, I just had this discussion with someone talking about child support and everything. Honey, the court systems are designed to keep a man down. How in the hell we make this baby, but yet that 75% of my income got to go to child support and I can't live and I can't support my own self. If I get remarried or whatever, because me and you ain't together and I remarry and have another family, my income got to go to this particular child when I have other kids and I need to take care of all of them. But because a woman gets into her goddamn feelings and she wants a fucking increase because she mad because you got another bitch. See, it becomes all that. So the fight for masculinity and manhood and carrying on, I get it. But again, I'm going back to the language that's being used. And then right now, are we on the precipice of having straight pride? Is that what this is? Is that what all this is about? Do we need it? Do we absolutely need to have a straight pride? And literally call it that, straight pride. Huh? to where straight folks come out with their family and their kids are carrying on. You know, they get to sit down there and celebrate this and celebrate that. They get to have marches and they get to have parades and carrying on. Are we saying that this is what the world is ready for and this is what this is coming to? Or is this just another talking point that is going to sit down and take us into areas that becomes more divisive? Okay, is this a talking point because we have a lot of gay folks or the LGBT community has political power? Is this becoming a talking point so that the straight folks can have more of a political power or more of a lobbying technique or whatever to shoot down gay folks? I don't know. And I'm throwing that out there because, hell, you know, at this particular point, anything is possible. But as the judge is saying, you know, he considers that folks are ill-advised. You know, I oppose public and social political policy that I consider ill-advised or harmful. That's very interesting. So it becomes, okay, what do you mean by ill-advised and what do you mean by harmful? Because, see, again, when you say ill-advised, are you saying that someone has given them a narrative, or are you saying that you disagree with it and because you disagree with it, they're misinformed? Because if that's the case, then how is it that they are ill-informed or ill-advised when all you do is have a simple disagreement? Because, see, here's the thing. And I have to be careful with my own language about this when it comes to this kind of stuff. Because we could sit down there and say that, okay, someone said this, that, and that. And I always question, I say, do you really believe that? That's what you believe? You know, and it's like, okay, well, I'm standing here in front of you and I'm giving you a different perspective. And then, but every time I'm giving you this perspective, because this is what my truth is, you want to shoot it down. So if you're going to shoot it down, how is it that you become ill-informed or somebody is ill-advised where you're not taking my perspective into consideration? Now, here we go. Because, see, if that's the case, do we start to deal with folks on the individual level? Or do we still lump everybody and have group conversations and group this and group that, you know, and say, well, y'all are this and y'all are that? You know what I'm saying? And now, when it comes down to individuals and dealing with folks on an individual basis, then we have all these different nuances and variables that come into play because not everybody is the same. You know, not everybody is the same. Nobody is 100% exactly alike. You know, that's why we are unique. That's what makes us unique, you know. So if we're going to deal with folks on the individual level, does that mean then that we soak in everything and try to tailor make everybody to everybody specifically? Or do we pull enough information to where we can say, okay, this is a general consensus and we'll start here and then you can bring what you need to bring to the table to personalize it for yourself? Okay, if we start from that particular perspective, perhaps maybe then we can get a broader sense of what needs to go on, and then we can personalize it and say, okay, well, this is what the scope is, but here's what I'm going to do in it because this is where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole big thing and a whole big to do. Straight pride. Is that something that we're absolutely ready for? Is it needed? Is it required? Okay, and they're understanding what is a strong man. What is a strong man? What is a strong black man? Okay, because see, like I say, a lot of people want to say what's strong. The definitions that I have heard have become rhetoric. You know, well, you know, I take care of my business. You know, and then we get very sexual. I know how to lay it down. I keep my woman together. You know, and it's all every time we talk about a man, it always revolves around him and his fucking woman. It ain't got nothing to do with what it is that he does for the community, what he does for himself, how he keeps himself together, how he grooms himself. How you a strong black man, but you don't know how to take your ass to the goddamn doctor. That includes me, because I don't like going either. Okay, but you know, those are some of the things that we're dealing with. How are you a strong black man, but then at the same time, you got 27 kids with 16 different baby mamas? What in that says strong? And see now, and then here we go, because see, let's talk about that particular dynamic of it, because we talk about Judge Joe Brown, who is of a particular, he's of a particular generation and an age. Okay, so and in his particular world, you know, he's coming from a time when he was a kid and this is what men did and blah, 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 blah. Well, now let's look at the dynamics. Because back in his day, yeah, a man had all these damn kids. He may have had 2 separate families, but he took care of all of his kids and all his kids knew one another and et cetera, et cetera. But now the men today, as I said, you know, you got 27 babies, but then you got 16 baby mamas. How is it that that's a strong black man? Where's the strength? Because it's not in numbers. All your strength is in your damn dick. Because all you doing is fucking, okay, and having kids. So what in this says that this is real? This is strong. Where are we with this? Okay. Where are we with this, and where does this going to go? Because see, now let's go back to this. Is straight pride needed? Because see, if we start to have a straight pride, or if this becomes a whole movement to where you're saying, okay, straight men need to be at the table, and strong black men, we need to stand up for masculinity. What exactly are we standing up about it for? Particularly in this day and age, because men of old, Judge Joe Brown's era and carrying on, that type of man don't exist no more. At least not in today's standard, because he's a relic. Now, Judge Joe Brown and carrying on, yes, he's alive, he exists, so he knows how to govern himself. But name me somebody that exudes his particular characteristics and his principles in this particular day and age that's in their 20s and 30s. Name a young man that exudes that stands out. And I'm not talking about the bullshit rhetoric of it or the machismalness of it. Okay, because we got a lot of those who thinking that because they can slang dick and because, you know, look at the hip-hop community. We got a lot of that. Because they can sit down there and make it rain at the strip club and shit, they think that that's supposed to mean something. And that's their prowess. That there is how they get off and how they get over on being a man. You know. So look at the dope dealers they're carrying on, because they're trying not to be hard. I mean, trying not to be soft. They got to be so fucking hard, and you know, this, that, and the other. So what is it that we're saying that we want? What is this particular movement? So I cherish these particular conversations, and I want to make sure that we are on the precipice of saying something is real, something is here, because we need to understand exactly what this is. Are we absolutely ready for straight pride? Okay? Is it needed? Is it needed? And what constitutes a strong man and a strong black man to be in particular? Because see, as I said, Joe Brown, and I'm a direct this directly to you, Your Honor, because I'm going to send you this. Your Honor, I really understand your plight, and I understand that you feel as though that the likelihood of manhood in this particular world seems to be diminishing. You know, a lot of it, you know, a man that you know and you grew up to understand what manhood is, all of that is being challenged according to your definition of it. And I get that. At the same time, sir, the way how you're approaching this thing, you are approaching this from an era that's going to alienate everybody else. And you're saying that my community is wrong. You're saying do not be demoralized, but you're saying that I'm immoral because I'm not straight, or because I'm not standing up for masculinity, or I'm not standing, maybe I'm too feminine to be a dude. See, do not be demoralized. And see, language like that, you can say that you're anti-gay, and I hear you. And I know I am intelligent enough to know where your point is going. But when I first read that, yeah, that gave me a red flag, because I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so everything else is immoral. See? And that's what this comes to that's what this comes to play. And then you said that it comes from the Democratic Party or the GOP. I'm hoping that you mean that the GOP is supposed to represent the Republican Party, because you know, this whole Republican Democratic thing and carried on, this is starting to get on my nerves now, because everything is not Democratic or Republican. Let's look at this from a particular standpoint, and let's look at it systematically. If you're saying that that masculinity needs to be re-looked at and re-examined, then yes, let's look at it from its total standpoint. Because again, standing up as a black man, what you want to say is supposed to be was supposed to be manhood or whatever. You're trying to tell me what they said back in the days of slavery. Oh, I'm a big strong buck, and I know how to be out here in the field, and I know how to work. I'm a good worker. I'm a good soldier. And this, that, and the other. I'm strong and and charismatic. It has nothing to do with everything else that deals with strong black. As I said, my models were men who came in, they took care of what they needed to take care of. They did what they had to do without necessarily breaking the law. And if they broke the law, nobody knew it because it wasn't everybody's business. A man sat down there, if he was with his woman, he was with his woman. He wasn't sitting down there trying to fuck everything that moved. He was with his woman. If he had one, now if he was single, that was a whole different thing. As a single man, he out there, okay, he was able to play the field and this, that, and the other, and carry on as a single man. But when he was committed to one woman, he took care of her. He took care of his kids. There was nothing that she or them ever wanted. And because she took care of them, she took care of him. Okay? So therefore, we had that balance there. But right now, what we done got into this whole thing of, hell, I go back to Little Kim from the remake of Lady Marmalade, honey. Why spend mine when I could spend yours? So we're in that particular era and in that particular dynamic of the world. So what does it mean to be a strong man? Okay, what does that mean? Because see, like I said, the conscious community, y'all sitting up there talking about some, oh, we dealing with the effeminization of black men. You got all these black men running around in dresses and, trying to act like women. Child, that's an acting gig. Tyler Perry getting paid. Oh, well, that's just cooning out. They cooning their Sambo and that thing for the almighty dollar. They sellouts. Well, what the fuck are they supposed to do? Okay, where are you, oh Mr. You ain't the sellout, you got the job to make the coin or whatever. Where are you to put them into places to where you can say, okay, y'all don't have to do that. Okay, or whatever the case may be. Because hell, art imitates life all damn day. So now the LGBTQ, you got all these little sissy fat little motherfuckers running around here. They want to dress up in high heels and wear makeup. That's a part of us, but that's not all of us. Okay, that's not all of us. And because you refuse to allow the masculine side of us to reign, you don't see it because you don't want to see it. See, the masculine part of the LGBT community are the ones that, hell, they blend in. They look like you. They like to play basketball. They like to sit down there and work on cars. They like to do all of the masculine things or whatever. They're not flamboyant. Okay? And carrying on. So they're everything that you say that you don't want to see in gay folks, but because they're masculine, you will not accept that to be a part of the community. So now it becomes, now as a masculine man who you say manhood is threatened by or whatever, or his manhood is threatened, because a masculine man still go through everything else that everybody else go through, as far as trying to get a job, as far as trying to sit up there and make it, in this world. So, we deal with all of that, and yet still have to sit down there and contend with the issues, of homophobic issues and well, I'm trying to find another word other side of homophobic, because I told y'all I want to find another. I'm gonna say homo hatred. Good night, darling. Homo hatred and homo you won't tolerate it. Is that, what's the word? Non-tolerance. Okay, now I was going to say ill-tolerance. It ain't a word. But, so let's talk about that. What is it that we need to do? Okay, so to my LGBTQ community out there, well, I would say LGBT plus, okay, because all these other damn letters, okay, are we ready for a straight Pride Month? Okay, because consequently, this is, if they get momentum on this may be what this turns into. Okay, for them to sit up there and say, well, hell, y'all got gay pride, how come we can't be proud that we straight? Sometimes it sounds dumb as hell, doesn't it? It sounds dumb. And it sounded even stupid when we said it sometimes, but because of what we were fighting against, because of the system not letting us have what we needed to have and not letting us be a part of the whole continuum, we had to sit down there and forge our way in and had to make something for ourselves. So when we say gay pride, I'm proud of who I am. Okay. Now it's an issue because see now straight folks are saying the same thing, and particularly Joe Brown and his plight for masculinity and manhood and family could be debatable too. Okay, that means I'm talking too much. My signal got to bleeping out of things. But I've always said women have become the men that they are looking for. So if women are as masculine as men are these days, then what is it that a man has to look forward to? If a man want a woman, honey, what the hell is he going to sit down there and deal with a woman who sit down there in his face all day, kick his ass? Huh? Why? Why? That doesn't make sense. You want to, and like I said earlier, you always calling him all kinds of bitch niggas and carrying on and this, that, and the other. You want to challenge him because of these laws that said men ain't supposed to hit women and carrying on. You want to challenge him like that all the damn time. See, we went to the whole opposite end of this thing, honey. Back in the day when women were soft and demure, men took advantage of that. And so they were supposed to be the aggressors and things. And so they used to beat women because they were not obedient and they did not want her to have her own mind. You know, if she thought outside of him or disobeyed him or did something against what he said do for the household, he would kick her ass. All right. Well, now we got laws to protect that and carry it on. And we have... we put shit into place. Women learn how to protect themselves. They stop being so docile and carrying on and just let a man whoop all up on them. She learned how to fight back. All right, she's supposed to. Well, now here we have it. Okay, and see, this is the part that I didn't understand about that because men who were like that, you had daughters. So how did you raise your daughter to take an ass whooping from a man? I never understood that. But, okay. You know, again, that was the old time thinking, you know, as far as you want to tell them, well, men gonna be men and all that old bullshit. No. Okay, so now women learn how to protect themselves, but now we are so far on the opposite end to where not only have you learned how to protect yourself, you want to now challenge a man. You want to stand toe-to-toe with a dude. Okay? And... all of that. So why is it how is it that a man is supposed to sit down there and say that this is something that he wants? Because hell, if you just as hard as hell, then he might as well go get a nigga, right? Huh? He might as well go get another dude and then sit down there and do what dudes do. And do the do. Okay, wait a minute. I got comments coming up in here. Y'all starting to talk a little bit. Let me see. Who all them came up in here? I ain't said hi to nobody. Frank and Keith and Ricky and Daryl and the other Ricky and Terrell and Lewis, all y'all done come up in here. And Michelle has come up in here. Lewis, you say preach, and you say what? To provide everything for your family. Okay, is that your definition? Hey, good morning, Michelle. How are you? Homo hatred. I like that. Instead of homophobia, yeah, I like the homo hatred. I like that. Let's see if we can inoculate that into the vernacular. Okay, Lewis, you say what? They proud every day and they get most of the benefits. Well, okay. Charles, hey Charles, you came up in here watching. Terrell, you said, I whip all my hoes. Laugh out loud. Terrell, you a mess. Okay. So, you know, when dealing with all of this, you know, those are the dynamics. And so, again, are we ready for a straight Pride Month? How about that? Imagine that on the calendar. That goes up there like a Mother's Day or Father's Day. And, you know, June is Gay Pride Month. And then we got National Coming Out Day as October 12th. So imagine, imagine that, a National Coming Out Day for straights. Okay. Okay. This is the day that we gonna say we straight. Okay. Oh yes, honey, we straight. National. Hey mama, I'm straight. you know, imagine that. Or just imagine the fact that, okay, let's just say if June is Gay Pride Month, then July be Straight Pride Month or whatever. Okay, let's keep it into something. No, let's go August. Okay, let's go August. And say, okay, let's have a Straight Pride Month. Okay. And carrying on. Imagine that. Are we ready for that? Do we think that it's necessary? Okay. What you say? Well, ha ha! Terrell, what you say? Okay, then where's Trade Month and Hoe Month? Get the fuck out of here. Okay. National Trade Month. Okay, you're a piece of trade. Is this for the trade? Okay, and then hoe month. Okay, for all my pole dancers and shit. Okay, this is your month to celebrate being a hoe. It's very interesting, but child, in the judge's plight to want to fight for manhood and carrying on. Like I said, I understand it, but at the same time, now I have questions because it's becoming an onion that has a lot of different layers. Because see now, what is it that you say you need to stand up for? Okay, because it's one thing to sit there to say that I'm for manhood, but as a black man, what are we saying? Because again, it starts to fall upon those lines of homo hatred. Because well, hell, men ain't, they so soft, they so this, they so that. And so what what is it that constitutes this, that, and the other? Now, I would say this. Now, let me go on record as saying this. Let's have a hold down. Lewis, you are stupid. Oh, a hold down. Let me go on the record as saying this. And this is like kind of big coming from me. Because I've always said, like if you pay attention to fashions, have you looked at fashion, the men's fashion these days? Men's fashions, particularly there's a lot of shirts, there's a lot of, the way how this shit is cut with all these different zippers and all this kind of stuff. Have y'all noticed that a lot of men's shirts are cut on a swing dress pattern? Have y'all ever noticed that? And those of you who sew and know patterns and carry on, you know what I'm talking about. If you deal with folks who deal with costumes and carrying on, what'd you say, blouses? Ha, Terrell, right. Child, a lot of men's clothes are cut on a female pattern. Okay? I noticed it because I like to experiment with different cuts and carrying on, because at one point in time I used to dress very androgynously. Well, now I've outgrown that. It doesn't fit my lifestyle anymore, so I've gotten away from it. But there are some things that I still gravitate to. Okay, but I went to this one particular store and I'm looking at these shirts and I was like, oh my God, wow, this is so cute, because it had the low, in the front, it had the front, but in the back, it had this damn swoop in the back, and then it had a little swing to it, because when you walk, that little part swing, it ruffled out a little bit or whatever, and from the front, at first you would thought it was a tuxedo cut, right? Then when I I held it up, I was like, bitch, that's a swing dress. I said, this is a swing dress pattern, and this is a man's shirt? What? Have y'all gone to the store and seen them damn, remember the emoticons? They had all the emoji symbols and stuff on a pair of pants, right? That was in the men's department. And I said, wait a minute. Don't no straight man wear emoticons on their fucking pants like this? And then it was it wasn't like it was on the pocket or it was one big old smiley face or whatever. It was all like you was playing, what's the little game, Candy Crush or whatever. It was like you had this explosion of this little shit on the pants. And then, wait, here's where it got me. They called themselves having this in the men's department, and they were shorts, bitch. They were shorts with the elastic at the knees. Straight men don't wear no goddamn pants with elastic at the knees like that. Those were gauchos. And I said, this is in the straight man's department? And I thought, I swear to you, I thought that those were women's clothes because it was so close to the women's aisle. The aisle had separated the women's from the men. And I said, well, maybe they ran out of sizes of the space over there and had to put this over here. So that's what I thought until I looked at the sizes. And they was in men's size. Women's clothes don't come a size 42, 44, 48 waist like that. They don't size like that. Those were men's sizes. I said, look at this shit. I said, this at any time, this is why I said this is that way. Anytime I say that something is a little too much in fashion and clothing, then honey, that's real. Because I like androgyny and carrying on for the most part. You know, I like where we are out of the drabness of men's clothes because men only got 5 colors: black, navy blue, gray, burgundy, and brown. Child, those are the 5 colors that men's clothes will basically come in. Okay? Anything else outside of that, honey, is experimental. So, right then, I said, okay. So when we started experimenting with colors again, I'm like, oh, okay, this is cute. But it was a hint of color here. You know, every now and again, like I had a pink suit once that was sickening, honey. That cotton candy pink, that motherfucker was lovely. I'm too big. It's too big for me now because I lost 200 pounds. So, all right. So, but nonetheless, you know, but it's still a masculine cut. It wasn't all, you know, they didn't sissify it. And for lack of a better word, it wasn't sissified, you know. But now these goddamn clothes, honey, it's like, what are you talking about? Okay, and you want this to be in the men's section for real? Wait a minute, I got comments. Hold on, Terrell, you say what? I sew and cut on the bias of a female. Look at these skinny jeans, joggers, etc. Cut on a female pattern. Everything is tight, ass is hanging out, and the alleged straight man, or the alleged straight man. Go figure. Exactly. See, exactly. My point. Oh, I didn't know you sew, Terrell. Oh, Terrell, you sew? Wait a minute, we need to talk. That's what I'm talking about. So now this whole, so the merit that the whole, I need to save masculinity or we need to stand up for manhood and this, that, and that I get. Because, you know, there's a lot of softness and carrying on in the idea or the persona of a man. Okay? Because shit, when I was in high school, this was back when I was in high school from 83 to 87. Okay? And this was, oh, wait. This was around 1984. Because Prince was Prince and Michael, that was the Prince and Michael Jackson battle and carrying on and blah, blah, blah. And I was in my Spanish class, and I remember a girl saying that, you know, the boys were starting to wear eyeliner and carrying on because they wanted to be like Prince, you know. Prince had that pompadour hairstyle and carrying on, and all the boys were trying to be like Prince and wear his clothes and this, that, and the other. And Prince was very androgynous at that particular time. But they were putting on the eyeliner and thing, and this girl said, that don't make no damn sense. She said, hell, you trying to go out on a date and both of you fighting to put on your makeup. I said, wait. I howled. But then we started having all that. Now, and then the term metrosexual, y'all know I can't stand that term. Because what it did, it prettified and beautified men. Men have always been able to take care of themselves. Y'all have heard me say this on a number of videos. That again, that strong male image that we talk about so much that I referred to back in the day. There was no such thing as no metrosexual, honey. And when a man knew how to take care of himself, he would go get cleaned up. He cleaned up. He knew how to cut his beard, conditioning and carrying on. He knew how to condition his face and put lotion on and things so he wouldn't be all rough and all this, that, and the other. That wasn't, you know, you got men's cosmetics now, honey, but now y'all trying to make it seem as though he's sissified because he he puts on cocoa butter or got the shea butter mix and carried on, or because he has lavender essential oils and this, that, and the other. Men have always done that when they were ready to care for themselves, because it was to relax, to get rid of the world, and it was to let their woman get close to him. A woman likes hard, she likes the feel of a man's strong hands or whatever, but she don't like to feel them damn calluses cutting her goddamn skin. Okay, a man knew how to clip his goddamn toenails before he went to bed, so he wasn't slicing up the goddamn sheets. Okay, or cutting her while they fucking, or whatever the case may be. Men did that naturally, because that was a part of the grooming process. We knew how to spit shine our shoes and carrying on. About polishing your shoes, making sure everything was together. Okay? Y'all heard that, and we don't hear it much now about a man don't wear run over shoes. Women used to say that all the time. You could tell a lot about how a man take care of himself by looking at his footwear, honey. Look at his shoes. Okay? If his shoes are run over, they ain't got no heel on and they're carrying on, there's something was wrong. He didn't know how to care for himself, or didn't take time for himself. And that was always the standard. That's how it was when I was growing up. Now you don't even hear that no more. Outside of Jordans, because men don't, you want to show how much you flossing because you could spend $150, $200, $300 on a pair of fucking Jordans, and because it got a little scuff on it, oh, I can't wear these no more. Fuck the child bye. Terrell, you say what? It's a double standard. Spanish young men get color in their hair, arch eyebrows, etc. As soon as a black young man grooms himself, watch how everyone is in the barbershop looks at him with such displease. Black society says black men can't groom. That's considered feminine. Okay? I was married, made my wife and mother's clothes, and fuck all kinds of pussy. Okay. Okay, but now let me ask this, Terrell, because at that particular stage of the game, you were considered to be an asset. You and I are in the same generation gap. Are in the same generation. So those kinds of things were an asset. When a man was a man's man and was able to still cook, he was considered to be a lucky find. Oh, girl, he cook? Oh my God, girl, he make your clothes? Girl, you better keep that. It was something, it was a bonus. It was a bonus. I mean, imagine that, because, I know men who crochet or whatever. They learned to do that from their grandmothers, but it gave them something to do to keep their woman together. And if he was doing that for his woman and for his kids, then child, that was everything, because that became the bonus. Now it has become a sign of weakness. It's become a sign of weakness. It's become a sign of softness. And why is it that soft and weak always got to go to being gay? See? So it's very, 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 very interesting. So I keep saying this, are we ready for a straight pride? Because apparently that's what I am hearing with all of this talk that Judge Joe Brown is doing as far as trying to advocate for manhood and advocate for... Wait a minute, let me read it again because I want to get his quote right. Hold on. I want to get his quote right, honey. Ain't that nothing? Be strong for families, children, femininity, women, masculinity, and manhood. So, there you have it, children. I'm going to leave it there because I think this is a conversation worth having. And, this is tea. We got to pour this tea, honey, and dunk those crumpets with this one. Because this needs to be a roundtable discussion. This one here, this needs to be Oprah needs me. Okay, Oprah needs me, and this needs to be something that we have on a big panel discussion kind of thing. Because I need to have both sides of this: the masculine, the feminine, and those who are advocating for this, and those who feel as though that this is a bunch of hogwash. Okay, Terrell, you say, well, I could do it all. Now I know what team to play for. Now I know what team to play for now. But I don't get the softness stares of questions, I guess, because of my looks. But hell, I'm not that damn masculine. The gays do it all and live still. Okay, how about that? Okay, it needs to be addressed, and I'm gonna help you get there. Okay, okay. Because see, the whole thing of it is, see, yeah, I really need to do this on video. I mean, a flat out video conference. I really want to do this in a way because, like I said, I'm hoping that the judge accepts my invitation to come on the radio show. But I need to consider this and take this across because, see, here's the thing. You know, when we talk about the masculine versus feminine, because in the LGBT community, see, that's one of our biggest fights. That's one of our biggest divides. The masculine kids don't like the femme kids because they feel as though, well, you can get us clocked. You so far out there. I can't date nobody like you because you so far out there, and I don't want the folks to look at me like that or think that because you gay that I'm that kind of gay. So see, we have so many different components to this, to where well, I won't say. Well, no, it's just a contention because the thing of it is that I don't want to be soft and see if that's the line. Then we got to A, straightness and softness, B, gayness and softness or whatever. Because the whole idea of masculine and gay, as I said earlier, you straight children won't accept it. You won't let masculine gay folks be in the game, especially when they're my size. I'm 6'4", currently over 300 pounds. Child, I got to get back down to 290. Okay, so somebody my size that you feel should be playing football, in your head, you won't let us be masculine and gay because you can't come out of our bedrooms because you don't want to fathom what the fuck that's supposed to look like. That ain't for you to understand. Because it ain't your gig, sweetie. It's not your gig. So stop trying to get in it unless you want to be in it. Okay? And because of that, we have this divide there. So when we talk about manhood, see, we have to go there because gay men are saying the same things about gay boys who are just too feminine. Where's your manhood at? We got a number of gay children who sit down there and are upset at the fact that there are gay men who have not slept with a woman. That's because I never slept with a woman don't mean that that's why I'm gay. How you know you gay? You ain't never had no pussy. Well, shit, I was never attracted to it. Well, that's not my story. I have. But hell, for me, it didn't do nothing for me. It was sex. Okay, was it fun? It was fun because it was sex. But honey, when it was all said and done, I wasn't rushing trying to do it again. Okay, you know. It was one of those kind of things that when the first time I had sex with a guy, then it became, oh my God. You know, I knew what the bells were. I knew what the heart palpitations were. I knew the sweaty palms and all that. I knew what all that was. And it was like, oh my God, this is everything. And then, of course, now I wanted to have it again. And so all that we go through with the sexual thing, I got that after having sex with a guy for the first time. I didn't do that with a girl. Okay. Teresa, you said, let's get together Monday, Meach, and let me pull some celebs together and let's discuss it. Brown is not thinking clearly because a lot of us young men were left alone to be raised by mama. Come on now. Where was the male figure? I was molested by my stepfather, so hell yeah, open up the line. I'm still mad and hurt. Come on then. Now see, did you just open up something else as far as masculine and manhood is concerned? Because we haven't even talked about that whole idea of the man who sat up there and touched the children because you so manly. Oh, see, this is becoming the whole thing. Yeah, let's do that, baby, because let's do that. Because this here, I really want to get onto this and carry it on because in this particular day and age, especially now, you know, the whole driving while black, I just put something on my wall. Y'all go to my wall and look at the story. This just happened just a couple of days ago. The black guy in Portland, Oregon got put out of the hotel because he was on the phone in the lobby. And the security came over to him, and instead of asking him, well, they asked him questions, but instead of verifying the facts, they ended up putting him out. They called the police and had him evicted for just being on the phone. I work hotel security, honey, so I know what the protocol is of making that happen. And I'm telling y'all, just from the video alone, they did not go through the steps to make sure he was a guest. If you thought he was somebody who did not belong there in the hotel, then you had to, he showed you a key. You asked him for the room number. Okay, he said, I forgot the room number. Then you take him to the front desk and have him show his ID so they can confirm that he was a guest. And then you escort him up to the room and watch him use his key and watch the key open the door and then call it grace. That's what we do for protection. Then you tell them, this is a security thing. I got to make sure that, because you could have been someone else. We get vagrants come in all the time that blend in and get all up into the floors and shit. So we have to protect that. They did nothing. They just put that boy out that damn hotel. I can't call the name, but go see the story. But again, now in the manhood of it, would he been a man? Would he have been wrong if he had knocked the shit out them? Because we as men, all we know how to do is fight, so they say. Okay, then he was a black man on top of it. Okay, with all these white children. Okay, because this was two white security officers and it was white police officers that came and got him. So now, even if it wasn't racial, it has the appearance of racial tension. Okay, and why? Why do we have that there? Interesting. I'm having a problem with that. They took him up to his room and made him pack his shit to be evicted because he was on the phone in the lobby. And they didn't do the correct protocol to make sure he was a guest. So, with that being said, we have a lot to contend with this issue. So, this tea here, we gonna continue dishing this one. I need you to get all your crumpets, honey, because we gonna dunk a few, honey. I need you to get dunking, honey. Get your scones, get your biscuits, honey. Get your tea biscuits, honey. Get your donuts, get whatever. Bring plenty of crumpets, because darling, this one here, I'm not done with this yet. So we're gonna make this happen. So on that particular note, baby, finish all of your crumpets now because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea, my darling. With Big Meach. If you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing will move forward. You got a few more days left to take advantage of my Christmas and Kwanzaa sale for my book and my oils and my sensuality fragrance line. Go to my website, www.dishingtea.com. Everything, the books are $10. And the oils are 3 for $10, 6 for $20 at this particular point. And up until the 1st, when Kwanzaa is over, the last day of Kwanzaa. So go there and find out how you can order, and we will talk again soon. So on that note, honey, let me get back to work making these donuts over here, and we'll talk again soon. Ciao.